What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, and I wanted to address one way that you can support the channel if that is something that you would like to do. We all need t-shirts, and if you happen to be in the market for a graphic tee anyway, why not check out my affiliation link at TeePublic. Here you will see different designs that I handpicked myself and new designs that will be added on a weekly basis. This week's featured item will be t-shirts themed after the IT Crowd, which is currently a show that I'm doing reactions to on YouTube. So if you happen to be a fan of that show, feel free to come through and check it out. And I will be adding t-shirts, as I said, on a weekly basis, so be sure to look at it not just once, not just twice, but on a weekly basis. Link to my TeePublic storefront will be in the description box down below. What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance Crew, and you are watching DaVinci Reacts. Today we're going to be getting into a video that I feel like I need to do, because, and I'll tell you the story in a second. So this video is made by a channel called Today I Learned. It's a channel that takes a lot of different questions that you might have and pretty much tells you the origins of like what happened with it and everything. So this video in particular is called The Story of the United States National Anthem and How It Became Part of the National Pastime. The reason I'm watching this is because I recently did a video called The Star Spangled Banner as You've Never Heard It. And in the video, I did a lot of critiquing. I did a lot of nitpicking, and I want to explain why I did that. Now, I'm not explaining that for the people that had a problem with the video necessarily, because chances are they just flat out misunderstood it. But I am going to explain it for those of you that might be asking what's up with the video and why I got so many dislikes and whatnot. The reason why I was, what's the best word to put it? Snarky, skeptical, cynical of the video wasn't because of the subject of the video. I said in that very video, I have no idea about the information in as regards to the War of 1812, Francis Scott Key, or the origins of the national anthem. I don't know. I admit that I'm not familiar with it, but I wanted to learn. So I watched that video, but the reason why I was so skeptical and cynical of the video is because not the subject, but the person telling the story. The person who was telling the story was obviously embellishing details in order to get some type of patriotic fervor going on and whatnot. And it comes off to me like that pseudo patriotism that you hear from people that put more value in the symbols of America more so than the actual freedoms that those symbols represent. Like the type of people that will get mad at you for not worshiping the flag, even though we're not supposed to be worshiping the flag. That's not what our country's about. It's about freedom. Freedom to choose what you do, what you say, what you dress, everything. Like, it's all about freedoms. After the video was over, I did go and look up more information. I saw a post. One person said that it was related to the National Archives, in which they discuss the true origins of the national anthem. And a lot of the details in the video that I reacted to were true, but like I said, there were embellishments. Like the story about how women and children were holding up the flag, and as the bombs were going off, they were dying, but they still made sure that even with their dying last moments, they still held on to that flag. That was complete garbage. It didn't happen. That's the type of stuff that made me feel cynical. Like, wait a minute. It's a military base in the middle of a war getting bombed on, and there was just women and children. Like, that, it made no sense to me. So that's why like I was saying throughout the video, I don't know what's true or what's not, but I have a feeling there's some bullshit in this video. I feel it. It's just, I don't know. Like my alarms are going off. Something's telling me something's not right. And turns out I was telling the truth, or turns out I was right. Even the video itself that I reacted to, in the description box, it says, yes, I know that some of the information in this video is wrong. So everybody telling me, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. The video isn't wrong. You're wrong. This, that, and the other. Well, the video itself says that it's wrong. So much so that they actually turned off their comment section because they got so many people telling them all the details, so many details in the video were wrong. So there we go. I had a reason for why I felt like there was some bullcrap in the video, because there was bullcrap in the video. But hopefully this video can clarify and give actual information as to like the origins. I want a historian talking about this. I want somebody that is 100% here to give facts. I don't want the I don't want the romanticizing of the war or the flag or anything like that. I just want the true 100% facts. That's all I've been looking for. Now, ironically, this video is being hosted by a person in the UK. It's like watching a video about the history of America by somebody in Vietnam or something. But, and also I remember some people said that they didn't like the person's accent. They felt like he was hamming it up, for those of you that know what that term means. But I mean, he probably does it more so for American viewers because you know how we are about a British accent. But anyway, let's go ahead and check this out and see what it has to offer. This video, as I said, was by Today I Learned. I will have a link for their channel in the description, well, a link for their channel in the video icon to pop up that you can click on. I'll have the original video in the description box down below. So if you want to watch that, click it, watch it. In case you want to watch it without me talking over it or possibly pausing or whatever else, that's the link you use. Anyway, let's do this.
Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching Today I Found Out, and in the video today we're looking at the US national anthem and how it became a part of the national pastime. As Francis Scott Key sat aboard a ship now officially...
I said Today I Learned. I meant to say Today I Found Out. That's what it's called.
As the British bombarded American forces at Fort McHenry. He had been sent to the British ship HMS Tonnant, along with John Stuart Skinner, by President James Madison himself to negotiate the release of prisoners of war.
Okay, now, when I watched the original, the old video, the Star Spangled Banners, you never heard it. One of the things that was like blaring in my head as far as like a BS alarm, and I'm going to use that term a lot during this video, so be prepared. One of the things that was blaring in my head as a BS alarm was the idea that the United States would send somebody who's technically a civilian over to an enemy ship in the middle of a war. Not just in the middle of a war, but in the middle of a battle where the enemies are actively attacking an American base. It made no sense to me that they would send pretty much a civilian to go and negotiate on the ship, because it seems like, okay, well, they just take the civilian, like, bam, you got another negotiating piece now, thanks. But turns out that was true. That was 100% true. I was wrong on that. I was wrong. I don't know if I addressed it in the video itself, so you probably wouldn't have known that I thought that, but that's what I was thinking, and I was wrong on that. So that's something I did want to clarify. Also, the whole thing about the hand over the heart, but I addressed that in the comment section. I was wrong on that one.
After dining with British officers, it became painstakingly clear to both Key and Skinner that neither they nor the POWs they came to rescue were going to make it back to the American side anytime soon. The British were planning on attacking Fort McHenry, and they didn't want their visitors to report back to the enemy their position or their strength.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. That's what I thought. Like, why would you send someone over there and, like, allow them to have access to all this stuff and then, like, just let them leave? That made no sense. Not to mention, at this time, the British were still a lot stronger than America, so it's not like you, like, if you took their negotiator of their representative, it's not like they could have done too much to get them back.
The British allowed the Americans to return to their ship, but under guard, and Key was confined to a small cabin. Key watched the battle rage, and in dawn's early light he saw victory. America's flag was still there. It was then that he put pen to paper and wrote much of the poem that would become the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, this is another thing that I was technically wrong on. I said that I originally believed that the song was a British pub song. That's what I was taught. Now, last time I studied anything about the Star Spangled Banner or the War of 1812 was when I was in school. And I'm talking about when I was young. So I admit it, a lot of information I had was not the best, and I did not know fully. Turns out what I picked up was the melody for the Star Spangled Banner was from a British pub song. The song itself, the poem that was written that was used as the lyrics for the Star Spangled Banner, that is what Francis Scott Key made and was original. It's just the melody itself, the song portion of it, was from the British pub song.
Finishing the rest at the Indian Queen Hotel after being released. Key titled the poem The Defense of Fort McHenry and showed it to his brother, a commander at Fort McHenry. He thought it fit perfectly with a medley of a popular drinking song at the time, the Anachronic Song.
There we go.
The poem, with the new medley, was distributed to troops and appeared in the newspaper The Baltimore Patriot, and shortly thereafter was retitled The Star-Spangled Banner by Thomas Carr, who started selling the lyrics and sheet music for the song in his shop in Baltimore. Soon it was printed in newspapers across the country, establishing its status as a wartime anthem. The song continued to gain popularity, often being played at parades and Independence Day celebrations. In 1889, the Secretary of the Navy, Benjamin J. Tracy, signed General Order No. 374, declaring it the official song to be played whenever the flag was raised.
Now, I am curious what the national anthem was before the Star-Spangled Banner became the national anthem. So if anybody has information on that, let me know.
In 1916, President Woodrow Wilson ordered that the Star-Spangled Banner be delivered during all military processions and occasions.
I mean, that's good and all, but I'm not a fan of Woodrow Wilson. I think he's one of the worst presidents in American history. And like when you talk about the resurgence of horrible race relations in America, this dude is one of the people that did it. He's one of the people that got America on the path of, I don't want to necessarily say imperialism because we kind of were already doing that. But when it comes to like meddling in foreign affairs and whatnot, Woodrow Wilson is like one of the primary figures that started that whole thing. So everything that's going on in like Iraq, Afghanistan, even going back to like the Cold War, like the things we did to Iran and like Cuba and Chile and Nicaragua and like all the things we did in those places, in a sense, goes back to his policies.
In the fall of 1918, America was in the depths of wartime, this time World War I. World War I had begun 4 years earlier, and after the bloody, violent struggle, it finally seemed clear that America and its allies would be victorious. Patriotism during this time was at an all-time high. Major sporting events particularly became venues for public displays of patriotism and unity, as they still are to some extent today. The Star-Spangled Banner had been played during sporting events dating all the way back to the late 1800s. But the song cemented itself in the sporting world during the fall classic of America's pastime, the 1918 World Series. The 1918 World Series was significant for a number of reasons. It featured a matchup between the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox, two of the best teams of the era. Of course,
funny enough, I think it was the last time the Cubs ever won that the World Series until 2016. 2016 was just an interesting year. A lot of stuff that we didn't expect to win at all won, and it was like it was an interesting year. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA championship, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series, and Donald Trump won the American presidential election. Say what you will about Donald Trump, you did not know he was going to win that presidency. That he was the underdog. Let's put it that way.
Of course, after this World Series, neither of the teams would win a World Series for a combined 181 years. Now, at the time, though, the Red Sox, they had a pitcher on their roster by the name of Babe Ruth, who, of course, turned out to be a better hitter than pitcher.
And this is where the curse came from.
The war had forced the government to draft ball players into the service.
Oh, let me go back a little bit. Now, the reason why people say the Chicago Cubs didn't win a World Series was because there was a curse put on them. Because, well, actually, were they the ones with the goat curse? There were just a number of curses, but I think one of the things also that influenced their karma was well, wait a minute, I might be thinking of something else. Babe Ruth played for a team, and then they got traded to the New York Yankees, and the team that traded him like had a huge span of bad luck ever since. So that's like one of the curses in baseball. But I think Chicago Cubs might be a goat curse. It has something to do with a Indian or a Native American and a goat, I believe, something like that. Somebody let me know in the comment section.
In something, given his pitching
Or giving the
skills.
full details in the
The war
comment
had forced
section.
the government to draft ball players into the service during the summer, and under the work or fight order, baseball was told to end their season prior to Labor Day. Therefore, the 1918 World Series became the first, and to this day only, to be played entirely in September. In addition, a bomb, the act of the anti-capitalist union Industrial Workers of the World, had blown up the Chicago Federal Building only days before, killing
So were they
4
communists?
during 30. Game 1 of the series
Socialists?
was played in Chicago. Some fans, due to fear and sullenness,
The name sounds like it, but you know how history is sometimes. Just because a name sounds a certain way doesn't mean that's what it is. I mean, North Korea is called the Democratic Republic of Korea. There's nothing democratic or republic about what's going on in North Korea. So sometimes a name is just that.
Game 1 of the series was played in Chicago. Some fans, due to fear and sullenness over the bombing, stayed away from the ballpark. Only 19,000 of the available 30,000 seats were filled. The ballpark was decked out in red, white, and blue, the Cubs brass trying everything to make fans forget the violence of war, both in the United States and abroad. As Babe Ruth pitched a masterpiece against their Cubbies, fans remained silent and subdued in their seats.
I'm not a huge fan of baseball, so I don't know like all the details of Babe Ruth. I just know he was a slugger and was able to like hit a ton of home runs. That's all I really know about him. I did not know he was a great pitcher, apparently. Unless he is just giving information that's not necessarily true either. So if you know the answer, go in the comment section, let me know.
With the Sox leading 1-0 going into the bottom of the 7th inning, Chicago's ownership had arranged for a military band to play the Star-Spangled Banner during the 7th inning stretch. As the first notes played, fans began to hum and then sing along. Red Sox third baseman Fred Thomas, a Navy man himself, stood silent and gave a military salute, prompting other ball players to do the same. Finally, the crowd became alive. A cheer erupted from the stands at the conclusion of the song. The Cubs, they would lose the game, but the media all wrote about how the fans' excitement rose with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. First, the song was taken up a few, then others joined in, and when the final notes came, a great volume of melody rolled across the field. It was at the very end that the onlookers exploded into thunderous applause and rent the air with a cheer that marked the highest point of the day's enthusiasm. For the next 2 games in Chicago, the Cubs management had the military band again play the Star-Spangled Banner during the 7th inning stretch. The crowds were delighted, and fans began showing up to the games, wanting to be a part of this patriotic display. The World Series moved on to Boston, and the Red Sox brass, refusing to be outdone, moved the banner to before the game and used it to welcome wounded veterans onto the field who had received free tickets to the game.
See, this makes me feel upset. Why wasn't this detail given in the last video? Like, instead of embellishing the Battle of Fort McHenry, why not tell the story of how the national anthem originally, like, became a pastime? This whole baseball story, because you could still give the details of, like, people feeling patriotic and being swelled in that emotion and all that, but you'd be telling the truth. Why wasn't this given? Like, this is what I'm talking. People like were looking like, oh, well, you're just are ungrateful, un-American. Just that. No, it's because they were telling bullcrap, and I knew they were telling bullcrap. This works. Like this has all the feeling of giving someone that patriotic feeling without it beating over the head with it with the pseudo patriotism. Like, this just works.
And it was with that a sports tradition was born. The Red Sox would go on to win the World Series 4-2 and would not be victorious for another 86 years until 2004. In 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed a law that declared that the Star-Spangled Banner would forever also be known as the national anthem. But it was the fall of 1918 when the Star-Spangled Banner and America's pastime, they became forever linked. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe.
I will do that right now.
Like this every day of the week. I'd also like to take this moment to thank our patrons on Patreon. If you're interested in supporting us with a small financial contribution that helps us keep making these videos every day, please do consider heading over to patreon.com/Today I Found Out. We've also got loads of great perks lined up for people who help support us.
There we go. I'm sure if you go to their channel, they will have a link for their Patreon. So that way you can show your support, because I say this all the time. If you are a fan of a history-related channel, whether it's a channel that gives information like this or whatever it is, show them support through Patreon. Hit the like button on YouTube, because Well, probably be best to do Patreon because YouTube is not kind to history themed channels. Whenever you're trying to monetize a video, there's a checklist of things you have to check that are in the video itself. And the problem is a lot of things that get you marked as demonetized or need to be under review are things that are like lumped together. So it's like when you're talking about, let's say you're doing a video where you're talking about the Nazis, or if you're talking about Al Qaeda, or if you're talking about some bad group somewhere, but just because you're mentioning them, you have to mark a box that says that this video talks about dangerous terrorist organizations or catastrophic events during war or something like that. But the thing is, it doesn't take into context whether you're talking bad or if you're talking good about it. It doesn't take into context if you're critiquing it, if you're just expressing what happened, or if you're praising it. So it doesn't bother to take that into context. So when you click that box, it just assumes all of it, and it leads you to get demonetized because they don't know what you're covering. But the thing is, they don't simplify, or not simplify it. They don't make it more detailed so that you can specify what specifically you're talking about when you are mentioning those things. So a lot of YouTubers that are historian channel or history related channels are getting hit because of that. So if you want to show them support their Patreons. Now, again, I don't know why the hell this wasn't talked about. Like, why wasn't it talked about in the other video? The first video tried to make this big deal out of the story of women and children and this, that, and the other, and making up details. By the way, did I mention the person I was telling the video in the last one was a preacher? Makes sense, because preachers' whole things are they're trying to invoke emotion for whatever reason, usually to try to get money. But in this case, they're not trying to get money, I guess, but they're trying to evoke emotion. That's what preachers do. I prefer listening to historians, listening to people that are fans of history, people that are unbiased and can just give straight up facts without having to put any type of their personal like stuff into it. So this video I did like a hell of a lot more. Again, if the last video would have taken the story of how the national anthem became the pastime, where it talks about the baseball, where it talks about the bombing and trying to get people together after the bombing of the stadium, and getting people's emotions in the right place so that they feel like they can be comfortable coming out again. They don't know, they no longer have to be scared. They're showing support to men and women that fought overseas to help fight for the freedoms of America and everything like that. That works because it's not only telling the truth, but it has all the drama involved. It has, like I said, it has the fear and the anguish and everything with the bombings and people not knowing what to do, if they're going to go out to the stadium or not. It has the build up where they are using the national anthem, or they're using the song that becomes the national anthem to help swell the emotions. They have the initial action of the soldier that salutes the flag, and then everybody else does it, that follows up behind it and everything like that. That works. If they would have just told that story, I'd have been 100% down with it. But because they embellish so many details, I couldn't get into it. Yeah, that's been it. And all the people in the comment section, all the people that came to my comment section talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm wrong, this, that, and the other, they're exactly what I described in that video when I said that I hate the fake patriotism. I'll say the same thing to them that I said to a couple of them in the comment section specifically. Like I told them personally. If you are just looking for blind loyalty to your country, take that shit to a country that would appreciate it, like China or North Korea or somebody. Go somewhere over there where they're looking for people that are willing to kiss ass and lick boots and won't question their government. Like, the thing that makes America great is the fact that we have the choice to have our freedoms. Now, that means that sometimes people are going to say stuff, people are going to do stuff that you don't like. That's what America is. Sorry that you don't like certain stuff being said or certain stuff being done, but guess what? That's America. Don't like it? Go to another country where everybody's forced to do the same damn thing. I am somebody that comes from a military family. My father is a retired Marine, 20 years. And if I bring it up to him, he will say the exact same thing. Just because you like to wrap yourself up in the American flag and you get your little American action figures and you got your little American bed sheets and all the other stuff that makes you feel like more of an American than your neighbor, fact of the matter is all that means nothing. The flag is just a symbol. If the flag were to get destroyed, if all American flags in the entire world were to disappear overnight, guess what? The feeling and the freedoms that the flag represents are still fucking there. It doesn't matter if you don't have your symbol to look at anymore. The freedoms they represent are still there. Because regardless of what the hell's hanging on that pole, what it represents is still in each person in the American country. Every single citizen in America, that feeling is still in them. Every time you hear somebody, whether they're criticizing a politician or whether they're debating a politician, whether they're running for office, whether they're going around trying to get more people in their community involved in whether it's politics or whether it's some type of social cause or whether it's a civil cause or whether they're trying to get people involved in the economics of America, whatever the hell it is, that's what America is. It's not a damn flag. It's not thread. It's not red, white, and blue dye. It's none of that shit. That's not America. If that's the case, take your ass to a damn Walmart and go worship all the damn handcrafting tools that people use to make flags and stuff. Because at the end of the day, the same thing that makes that damn flag is the same thing they make that you use to wipe your damn ass with. It's paper. It's cotton. It's plastic. It's whatever else. Those are materials. That has nothing to do with the freedoms themselves. Period. Like, I live in America. I understand that there are people that have different opinions than me. People that will say stuff that I don't freaking like. I've said this many times. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump for his politics or anything like that. But Donald Trump still has the freedom to run for president. Period. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, he shouldn't be able to do something because I don't like what he's saying. I don't care. That's not my position. If he wants to run, he can run. I didn't like Hillary Clinton. She did a lot of shit that I didn't agree with, but she has the freedom to run. But you know why? Because America, bitch. That's why. Joe Biden. I don't agree with a lot of shit Joe Biden says. A ton of shit Joe Biden says. Joe Biden's doing stuff right now that I don't agree with. But guess what? America, bitch. He has the freedom to do what the fuck he wants to. He has the freedom to do what he wants. If I don't like it, I won't vote for him. That's what the hell I do. I don't like what you're saying. I'm not going to sit here and try to get you censored or stop you from talking. I'm going to not vote for your ass. Unless what you're saying is causing legitimate, like, harm. Like, what you're saying can lead to somebody getting hurt. January 6th. In that case, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to say that shit. But if you're just saying stuff that is your opinion or whatever the hell else, you are 100% free to that opinion. Because what people seem to confuse when it comes to like the freedom of speech and freedom of religion and all that other stuff, they don't understand that that includes what you don't agree with or what you don't like. A lot of people will say somebody has the freedom of speech to say something, but what they really are talking about is they think they have the freedom to say whatever the hell they want and nobody can question it whatsoever. Nobody can respond to it, nothing. You're free to say whatever you want. The problem is freedom of speech protects you from the government. It doesn't protect you from private citizens and their opinions of you. You can say whatever the hell you want, and at the same time, I have the freedom to think that you're a dumbass. I have the freedom to say I'm not fucking with you no more because you said that. The government doesn't make me have to do business with you or make me have to agree with you. I can just not mess with you anymore. You want my business again? Stop saying that dumb shit. Like that. That's how it works. Freedom of religion. A lot of people, especially like conservatives and stuff, when they talk about cancel culture, like, oh, cancel culture, the left is hardcore when it comes to the cancel culture and this, that, and the other. But then they're the same ones that will turn around and try to get Harry Potter canceled, try to get Pokemon canceled, try to get heavy metal canceled, try to get violent video games canceled, try to get a lot of different stuff. Like usually it's the conservatives that tend to be hard on that. Like the funny thing is the people that like I did a lot of reactions to Married with Children back in the day. And the funny thing is a lot of people in the comment section are saying stuff like, oh, nowadays that type of video or that type of show couldn't get passed. That type of show couldn't get passed. But the funny thing is, at the time when it was out, the only criticism it was getting was from conservative parent groups, like moms and like teachers and things like that. Like I remember those days. I was there when those groups were protesting, and Hillary Clinton was with them. I didn't like her ass then. I don't like her ass now. She's always been somebody. Oh, let me stop. But I was about to get myself end up putting on a list for talking shit about Hillary Clinton. No threats or anything, but just talking shit. But that's America. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to talk shit because you know why? That's America, and I have the freedom to do it. I don't agree with Hillary Clinton's ass at all. I think that she kisses ass to whatever happens to be popular at the time. 1 minute she is holding conservative positions, next minute she's holding liberal positions, and she doesn't believe none of it. Only thing she wants is your vote. That is it. I completely dismissed her ass when she went on the Breakfast Club and started talking about how she carries hot sauce in her purse in order to try to appeal to the black vote. And for every black person that listened to that was like, oh, I'm going to vote for her because she said that, you're a fucking idiot. Everybody that voted for Joe Biden just because Congressman Claiborne or whatever the hell his name is said that Joe Biden supports black people. If that's the only reason that you needed to vote for his ass, then you're a fucking idiot. Like, you know what? I was about to go on a big, gigantic rant on a whole nother thing. Let me try to stay focused and stay on this topic. If you don't like the freedom that America represents, even the freedoms of the people that you don't necessarily agree with, you're free to leave. Because this country just ain't for you. Anyway, I'm Devon DaVinci. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys on future videos. See, now I'm hyped. Y'all done got me talking. I can get on with when it comes to politics and things like that for a long time. Now, I'm not somebody that tries to pretend that I know everything. I will openly admit that I don't know all the answers. Matter of fact, if you know anything that I don't know, please feel free to go to the comment section and let me know. I am definitely not somebody that's behind like censoring and all others. If you have some information that you feel I was wrong on or whatever else, go to that comment section and I will definitely be checking out for any information that you may have. That's always been what this channel is about. Now, if you're going to go in and troll and I see you post like 8 different comments where you're just like talking crap, that'll get you blocked. But if you want to give some information and stuff like that, please feel free to do it. I encourage it. I hope somebody gives some information because I know for a fact that I don't have all the answers for this. I know for a fact that I'm going to say some stuff that's wrong. I know for a fact that I'm going to say some stuff that maybe might have been right at one point, but new information has changed it or something else, because a lot of times I don't keep up on certain stuff. When it comes to these types of topics, I don't necessarily like dig deep into them. Most of the information I actually learned from history probably comes more from the actual YouTube videos that I watch than the books that I read. So feel free to let me know in the comment section if you have any extra details. If you have a link or something like that, that goes a long way as well. And yeah, I will see you guys later. I'm giving you the deuces and I'm signing out. Peace.